The scripture passages that we have today are vital, and they're very, very interesting. The first one comes from 2nd Maccabees, and it is written, Second Maccabees was written about 150 years prior to Christ coming on the scene. So you know the time is nearing when salvation comes to the world. And in it we have this man, his name is Eleazar. And Eleazar is a well-known scribe who is held up as being the epitome of the Jewish community, who had followed all the rules, and he had many followers. And this was at a time when Israel had been in bondage, and the king had looked over and had required that Eleazar eat some food that was forbidden by the Jewish laws. And Eleazar decided that he was not going to eat it, that he would suffer death prior to his ever eating that which was not within the Jewish diet. And one of Eleazar's friends came and said, look, we can fake this. We can trick them and substitute allowable food so that the king won't know and you can live. And Eleazar said, no, I have to be authentic, because there are those who follow me, who believe what I have said. And if I were to fake and not be my authentic self, then I would be lying. So I'd rather not eat and keep my authentic self, my true belief, so others might see that and suffer the consequences. And he did. He did not eat that which was required of him by the king, and he died. Which brings us to the second reading that comes from Luke's Gospel, the 19th chapter. And in it, we find that Christ is coming from Jericho on his way to Jerusalem, on his way to the cross. And while he was on his way to the cross, there was this little man by the name of Zacchaeus. And Zacchaeus had heard about Christ, and he wanted to see him. So he climbed a sycamore tree. And as Christ was passing underneath the tree, he looked up and said, Zacchaeus, I am eating at your house tonight. And the Jewish officials were astonished. He is going to eat at the home of a sinner. Now, Zacchaeus was a tax collector, and according to the laws of Moses, he could not be a part of the community because he had gone against the community and had joined forces with the Romans. The hated Romans, who had required of them that they live in certain ways and pay taxes to Rome. And this Jewish man, Zacchaeus, had been one of the tax collectors for Rome. And so Jesus went to his home to eat, knowing he was on his way to the cross, and yet he needed to have salvation visit everyone. He was going to save every single person that he could. So he stopped and he ate at Zacchaeus' house to show that he too was a child of Abraham. And while he was there, the others said to him, how can you eat there? And he had to, because he was the salvation for the world. And Zacchaeus, knowing this, said, I will pay back anything 4 times if I have swindled anyone, and will share half of my wealth to the poor. He too found salvation. He found his authentic self. So that idea about being authentic, about our role in our world, to be authentic, means that church is more than just a Sunday morning conversation. We cannot go to church believing that it's this giant check mark, which means I'm not going to hell this week. It is the authentic moment to become who we say we are. And that every single day we live our lives in a truth, the truth of faith, the truth of who we say we are, who we have embraced to live authentic lives. I am proudly African American and authentically Catholic. All of these can be one thing, that I can live in one way, so that when I wake up every single morning, I can say to myself, Lord, what are we going to do today? And I want you to know that there are a couple of twins, 8 years old, who listen to our stories and listen to this. Well, I want them to know, Lord, you have blessed them. Lord, what are they going to do today? God bless you.